What's going on, my babies? Welcome back to another episode of the Spiritual Word. As always, I apologize for any noises in the background in advance. Sorry if you can hear my fan. And before I start these, I'd like to start these off with a disclaimer by stating that these are for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research to come to your own conclusions, to have your own answers, to make your own decisions, and I believe in your ability to do so and to be your own person. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to match frequencies like I was talking about in the last episode. And the reason I want to talk about this specific thing is because frequencies is a very complicated word, and I want to break that down just to make this very simple and easy to digest, because a lot of people, they talk about frequencies and they talk about your power of manifestation. Like if you watch Abraham Hicks, or if you watch Bashar or Daryl Anka, the channeler, or if you watch Dolores Cannon, or if you watch any of those type of spiritual people who tell you, oh, just match the frequency, or Joe Dispenza, match the frequency, you're just trying to match this vibration. Everything is vibrating, everything is energy. So let's just take the word frequency out of the picture and let's just throw that away. Okay, so in order for you to be in alignment with whatever you're trying to get, right, whatever your manifestation is, you're trying to get into alignment so that the alignment will pull that thing in for you, so you don't have to do anything. Okay, you don't have to force the universe, you don't have to pray about this thing every single day, or ask the universe for it every single day, or whatever the case is. And you don't really have to work for it. I'm not saying that you don't have to put in any work, because sometimes there is some certain things that you do have to put in work for, but you will recognize that work, quotation marks, is not even actual work. So for example, if I'm trying to manifest, right? If I'm trying to manifest, let me think. Let's say I'm trying to be a mechanical engineer, right? And what it takes to be that person is to already be working on mechanical engineering things, like putting together machinery, taking apart machinery, learning the parts, knowing the parts, right? Then that's what the work is. The alignment is the work. And the manifestation is being a mechanical engineer. Or if I want to be an inventor, that's my manifestation. Then I have to already know how certain things work, how certain processes work, learn how, certain little objects, little items, learn how they work, and use it to my advantage, and create and innovate through what's already here. And because everything is sort of like transmutation, nothing started, nothing has ended. We're all taking ideas that were already here and creating our own. So the manifestation is being an inventor. That's the end goal, right? And being an inventor. And the alignment is to actually take something that's already here, that's already invented. I don't have to come up with anything new, and innovate that into a way that works better for its purpose. Something that will help it serve its purpose better and more efficiently. So for whatever manifestation you're trying to get, let's say you're trying to manifest money, because a lot of people try to manifest money, or if you're trying to manifest like traveling, or the white picket fence, perfect life, whatever, then the alignment would be, what would you already be doing? Like, for example, if you're trying to manifest being an actor, an actress, singer, songwriter, an artist, or a boxer, or a professional ballerina, I don't fucking know, then what would they be doing? They would probably already have the equipment it takes to do that thing. And if you don't have the money to get those things, you can talk to people and be like, hey, I'm trying to get into this. Do you know anybody who would be willing to sell me this at a really discounted price? I'm not, well financially set right now. And or somebody who's willing to give it away, or go on Facebook Marketplace, or WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, OfferUp. I don't know why WhatsApp is always the one that comes to mind. And use that and find free stuff with that specific title. Like if you're trying to be a boxer and you need gloves and you need practice and you need equipment, go to shops, or go to not shops, but go to where people train, and sit down with a trainer and be like, hey, this is my situation, this is my circumstance. Is it okay if I just sit here and I just watch you train people? I'm not asking for any type of anything. I just want to sit here and watch and maybe if I could ask you questions, you'd be willing to answer the questions. And maybe you don't even have to be that forefront. Maybe you could just sit there, watch them, and then at the end of their training session, go up to them and be like, hey, I noticed that you were talking about this. What did you mean by that? Can you explain that? Can you elaborate? And most of the time, people are willing to talk about the things that they're passionate about. So if you go to this place, it might be kind of nerve-wracking at first, to be honest with you. Maybe you don't do it the first time you go. Maybe you do it the 5th time you go. And you sit there and you're like, I happen to watch you train and I noticed that you do this. Why do you do this? People love talking about their loves. That's like a natural human quality. So that's something that you can do, and you just have to be creative with the ways that you are getting into alignment. Because most of the time, people who are at this really high pinnacle of success, they have really amazing stories that come behind it. And the reason that they have amazing stories is because they have to be creative in order to get whatever they're trying to get. And also, you have to be focused on that thing. Like, you have to really want the thing, and not in the sense that, like, you have to really, really want it and feel that you want it. It's more of the sense that you have to want it and be willing to do something that will bring you closer into alignment. Like, for example, if you really want to be a boxer, but you are not willing to do push-ups, how far are you really going to get? Because you're not just going to be fit. That's something that a lot of people view as work, being in shape. But if you are already in shape, then you don't view that as hard work because you're so used to it. It's not even, I don't want to say that it's not something that takes effort, right? Because manifestation isn't something that takes a lot of effort, especially if you're in alignment already with the things that you want already. Through naturally existing and naturally following your passions, your knacks, right? Like if you love making comedy videos on YouTube, then you're probably naturally funny and you don't have to work to be funny. But someone who's not funny, who's never done stand-up comedy, is going to be a different vibe. It's going to be a lot harder because they've never tried to do that thing, and it takes more effort when you're starting versus if you're just going. It takes more effort to get the ball rolling in the first place than it is, energy and motion stays in motion. That whole physics thing, that whole science idea, that whole thing, that's the same thing. Energy and motion will stay in motion. And I think that is what's the hardest part about manifestation. And when people talk about, like, you have to put effort towards your manifestations, I think it's just getting it started is probably the hardest part. And, but if you're willing to get it started, then it's going to go on its own. As long as you care about it enough. And I don't mean care about it as in, like, care so freaking much that it's your, like, toxic quality, because a lot of people, they'll make their passions their whole personality trait, which is a good thing because it puts in a lot of time and motivation for this thing, but you don't have to be completely obsessed with the thing. And basically, being in alignment is like, what would the end goal person, let's say you're trying to be this boxer. Let's use that as an example again. Let's say this boxer is coming up to you and telling you, giving you advice on what you should be doing. What would they have told you? What would you tell your past self if you were already in the shoes of the ideal person that you want to be? With the money, with the traveling under your belt, with the success, with the whatever. What would you tell your past self? And then act out of that way. Act out of the future self while doing the current self duties. Like, for example, if you're somebody who needs to get in shape, when you go to the gym, be that professional person. Be that professional athlete who knows what they're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. Just pretend. Pretend, have fun with it, and pretend like you know what you're doing. Like, have you ever been cooking and playfully you're like, now we add 2 tablespoons of salt for taste. And me personally, I like to add a 3rd because I don't think that there's enough flavor. Or, like, you pretend that somebody's watching you. And you pretend that you're running a live show. It's kind of like that. Just pretend that you're live on television and you're giving all these people advice on your profession, even though you're not a professional. And just continue to do that. Continue to do that, continue to do that, continue to do that, continue to do that, and have faith in yourself before anybody else has faith in you, and that's how you create. You create through your belief, your faith, your work. So the more, like, I was talking about this in the last episode, the more you fake, like, you put this mask on and you pretend that, I don't know, let's say your manifestation is to be a chef, and you go into your kitchen and you're like, everybody, we're gonna start, so everybody get ready, and then you're like, okay, first things first, we're cooking pasta today, so, I have this. Or if you have a friend over, you're like, I have a guest with me, and this is my guest's name, and today we're gonna be making this. It's like that. Just have fun with it and play. Like, you're here to play and have fun and enjoy the process of manifestation. And the more you enjoy the process, the more in alignment you are to getting this thing, because you're doing something that you're naturally being drawn to. You're naturally being drawn to having fun. That's something that you look forward to. And the more you look forward to having fun, the more you want to do the thing that's making you feel like having fun. And the more you do things, the more, like, practice makes perfect, that whole statement. Yeah, like, practice makes perfect. And the more you do something, the better you get at it. And the more you want to do something, the more, skilled you're going to be in that field. So just continue to do that thing. And that's how you be in alignment and how you get your manifestations. You have to believe in yourself before anybody else will believe in you. Even if that thing that you want seems completely out of range for you. Because nothing is out of range if you are a human being. And you can look at every single, option. There might be a lot. You might feel overwhelmed. But that's where you kind of, zoom in and you hone in on your own talents, your own skills. So you don't have to work so hard. Like, if you're naturally somebody who's athletic, maybe think about something that's athletic. Or if you're somebody who's naturally passionate about helping others, maybe think and consider that. Or, try to get to know yourself on a deeper level. And don't get lost in trying to figure out what would be best for you, because nothing is going to be 100% pinpointed specifically towards you unless you've already done it your whole existence and you know what that is, right? But, for me, for example, I don't have, a pinpointed thing besides talking like this and being able to describe and explain these certain concepts with ease and be able to dumb things down, essentially. So for me, I was always like, oh, what can I do that has something to do with communication? So, don't get lost in the overthinking of what could it be? What could it be? Just pick something and go with that. And pick something because you love to do that, because it's fun for you. And the more fun it is for you, the more you're willing to come back to it. So, always consider your loves and your passions before anything else. So, with that being said, thanks for tuning in and tapping in. And as always, I love you and I appreciate my babies, and I hope that this was helpful in any way, shape, and form. And I hope that, if it wasn't helpful, that it was entertaining at the very, very, very least. With that being said, thanks for tuning in and tapping in. Like I said, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.